Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this, your Taurus February 2023 reading and forecast. Hi, I'm Nigel Saint James, clairvoyant. And if you might be curious to see what is involved in having a one-on-one clairvoyant experience with me from anywhere in the world, just check out the information that's in the description box below. Have a look at the website anyway. I think you'll find some information there that's intriguing and you will enjoy. Now, let us draw 5 cards because, as the subscribers know, love and affection to the subscribers, as always. The subscribers know that's what we do, and the subscribers also know that there are no video advertisements breaking into this content, so you get to enjoy the experience uninterrupted. So let's see what there is first for you, shall we? And it is this one, which is the Lovers. So look in here, shall we? Knight of Pentacles. I have a real connection with this deck, so I think it's going to be good. Herald of Cups. This is the Hermit. I don't know what that means. We shall see in just a second. And finally, we have here the 5 of Wands. Oh, I love that image. That reminds me of my home country. Now, why don't you come sit down here next to me, as is our usual practice. We'll have a good close look at the imagery on these cards together while I do your reading for you. I think we might start with this Lovers card first. Valentine's Day and everything. And I am in love with love. Now, let us see. I do feel, well, isn't it interesting, but very often I get different feelings with respect to this card, but I do have a great degree of love and emotional, not just romantic love, but also love for family, love for friends around here. But here we see, look, to fear love is to fear life, and those who fear life are already 3/4 dead. Now, 2 souls shining brightly of their own accord, they come together in a moment of destiny. Now, in this moment, in this instant, time and space seem frozen, and the universe is set ablaze. The lovers embrace this juncture, and each other with powerful abandon. Now, pushed from their mind is the fear of letting go, as is the knowledge that such complete surrendering of inhibitions will result in choices to be made. Now, outside of this moment, neither stands unchanged, for the price of an instant of perfection is sacrifice and transformation. Now, whether this alteration is one of triumph or doom cannot be determined until you have felt the fire, and once consumed by the flames, it is too late to go back. Now, it has to be said that there are several cards in the tarot which deal with love, and it's found in several cards. But as the primary love card in the major arcana, the Lovers represents the most developed expression of love. I say it is love in its highest octave, in its highest frequency. It is the higher point of view or higher state of consciousness that comes when your heart has been transformed by love. Now, several authors have written about love relationships as spiritual path. And look, everything is spiritual path. Now, little else can bring us face to face with our unfinished business and our barriers to love as effectively as human intimacy. It provides, doesn't it, both a mechanism of transformation and of motivation. It is love that keeps our feet to the fire, love that motivates us to work through the difficulties, learning to tolerate the most sensitive and raw places inside of us. It is love that melts our resistances, and love that melts the boundaries. It melts the psychological skin that separates us from others. Love is about merging, about union. Of course, from this non-dual perspective, union doesn't make sense, but there are no separate parts to be joined. But from our usual perspective, this is how we experience it. Two become one. Now, this experience of union is both central to making love and to contemplative and mystical forms of spiritual practice. We let go of our separate self and merge into the larger being. Now, although human relationships can become the context for merging, we often don't take them to the furthest level. Our focus is usually our human beloved and safeguarding that relationship. We hold on to the other as a source of love, forgetting that it is our love that is so intoxicating. If we can claim that love as a capacity of our own heart, we will be less likely to get fixated in our attachment to particular others. You've got to love yourself. Until you love yourself, you don't know what love is worth. You don't know the value of what you are giving, and you can't assess the value of what is being offered. Then you can become a true lover, not just within one relationship, but a lover of the world. Then it is no longer just the love object that enlivens your love, but rather your heart continuously spills over with love. You become more compassionate, more accessible, more easily touched. The heart is softer and tender. Sometimes it can be said that the heart is broken open, so that the whole world can be placed inside it. There's also a choice to be made by you at the moment on the direction of life ahead of you. And it's going to be a significant choice to be made. You're going to look back in 12 months' time, you're going to say, I remember this choice, it was also made. There's also a sexual attraction here. Now, if you're not already partnered, you may be attracted and have a sexual union with somebody new, but I don't see that this is going to be any sort of a one-night stand. This is a major arcana card after all. And, well, I think it's something that's going to endure. Now, underneath love is Hermit, interestingly enough. I think it's got to do with a lot of that sort of sense of loving the self and looking within the self and knowing what you are worth and making use of the talents that you have. Now, the Hermit's quest, I just bashed my head on that, sorry about that. Nothing like watching professionals, is there? Now, the Hermit's quest here takes him from the company of others. It seems that really only in the comfort of solitude can he really discover the truth that he seeks. Now, too often the influence of others can overwhelm the wisdom of your inner voice. And him, by removing himself from society, he regains the ability to listen objectively to his own thoughts. The Hermit must be careful to revisit society again, though, once he's found the answer he seeks. Otherwise, you just go crazy. You become someone who is unusual. You don't pass on the gifts that you are there to do. We are about relationship and about society. To remain forever apart from contact is to lose your sense of your place in the world. Now, this is Venus ruling Virgo. Venus, the planet of love, of relationship, also of money and business in Virgo. With Mercury, the planet of communication and intellect, exalted. He is the prophet of the eternal, the magus of the voice of power. Now, you might find that you become something of a mentor to someone else, and you're going to have an illumination from within, almost a divine inspiration, but that doesn't surprise me at all, because that sense of lovers above you is pushing divine love your way as well. You'll be finding your own light. And there's a completion. There is enjoying the harvest. I'm getting that Virgo aspect, that beautiful, fertile earth of Virgo there, resting in your center. You'll have a degree of patience with you, and you'll be a very wise guide. Now, if you are alone, accept your aloneness and don't concern yourself with people who don't understand you, who would rather see you as being part of the herd. And if you should meet someone who's wise or a teacher, then listen to them. Have you any unresolved situations or relationships in your life? Make a list of all situations which you now wish to resolve or in some way bring to completion. Because whoever embarks on the search for the internal light must not be encumbered by unresolved conflicts. You understand that accounts must be settled. And say to yourself, I enjoy the feeling of completion and resolution. I will not compromise that which is important to me. I enjoy my aloneness because I can stop being alone whenever I wish. There's very much here also the sense that you must look to see what your God-given talents are and make use of them. The reason why I say that is that this energy is coming through here, and these words come through. The ideal situation for a man or woman to die is to have family members praying with them as they cross over, isn't it? Well, imagine, if you will, being on your deathbed, and standing around your bed are the ghosts of the dreams, the ideas, the abilities, the talents given to you by life, and that you, for whatever reason, you never went after that dream. You never leant in for that kiss. You never said those words. You never used those gifts. And imagine, if you will, that those ghosts are standing around your being, looking at you with large, angry eyes, saying, "We came to you, and only you could have given us life. And now we must die with your body forever." And imagine, if you will, what love, what words, what gifts will die with you in their own miscarriage of your death. The greatest wealth in this world lies not in the oil fields of the Middle East, not in the gold mines of Australia. It lies in the cemeteries, the greatness we have never seen, the joy never passed on, the words of sweet love never spoken, the talents, large or small, never actualized. Now let's have a look at, there's 5 of Wands, and there's a couple of court cards which we'll do. Ooh. Even though we could not see him, we knew our enemy was near. Well, this is Saturn in the first decan of Leo, the 23rd of July to the 2nd of August. Well, Saturn and Leo just do not get on. Leo wants to be creative and express itself, while Saturn is cold, dense, and wants to set boundaries. And Leo here is a fire sign, and it's in a fire suit. And added to with this number 5, I have a mystical association with the planet of Mars, that fiery planet Mars. We have the image of dark Saturn coming in and trying to dampen down all of this fire energy, so the astrological energies are in discord. Now, 5. Well, the 5th chakra is the throat center, and it relates to unobstructed expression. Now, although this can be generalized to any kind of self-expression or creativity, the more specific focus is expression through your voice. Now, whether that is singing, public speaking, performing, or just speaking your truth. Now, all of the 5s, it just so happens to be, entail some sort of aggravation in the tarot. It's just the way it is. But the 5 of Wands for you this month, in this spread with these other cards, is the struggle to overcome obstacles and express yourself feeling freely. Now, sometimes the obstacles are external, when, for example, your creative work doesn't necessarily find an audience, or someone criticizes what you say. At other times, the restrictive influences have been internalized, and you've done that a few times, haven't you? See, if you haven't received support for expressing yourself, or you've had experiences where others have judged or condemned or simply ignored what you've created, then it's obviously going to be more difficult to give yourself permission to express freely. Now, even anticipating judgment from others can lead to a self-censorship. Now, the key images here to me are these hands and what look like arms with the hands going up. Now, I can imagine water coming up and water streaming up these arms and these hands and then hitting the ceiling and then breaking down into a couple of different streams, each new stream cutting downward and inward. Now, the potency of this symbol lies in the fact that the energy doesn't just stop or back up, but keeps moving in new directions. Keeping the energy moving is what this card is about. Sometimes your expressions will meet with resistance or negativity, and the challenge is not to cut yourself off in response. Cutting off your expression backs up your energy and can lead to stagnation. It could even lead to depression, you know. Depression, the blues come with literally suppressing your natural energy flow. The antidote is to keep the energy flowing regardless of minor impediments. You must find new avenues of expression when those that you're using are blocked. Now, one secret to keep this energy flowing is to stop editing yourself and let go of concern about what comes out. And if you think that everything you say or create must be beautiful or elegant and refined, that your every effort must win the highest honor, this will stop your natural flow. You don't have to win the Nobel Prize. Let yourself be playful. The openness of play allows for invention and newness in a way that high expectations do not. Now, because this has shown up, it's important that you keep your expression flowing. You may have had some recent setbacks, but don't let that discourage you. We all have obstacles to overcome. Remember, the energy will keep turning and flowing on its own if you give it room to do so. Now, I have had clients who told me that journaling is an excellent way to keep contact with themselves and to keep the energy moving. And I agree with them. I believe them. Now, whatever mechanism you might use, feel how the energy wants to express itself and find a way to support that. It is important to keep the energy flowing. Now, let's see what's underneath this, and it is the Herald of Cups. Well, having received the good news, she offers the cup. Look, the essential energy here. Now, what I must say is that I think that Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Libra will be important to you at this time. Getting a lot of that coming up. The essential energy here is that of the compassionate heart responding to the emotional and interpersonal needs of others in a ministering kind of way, almost like a nurse or a doctor or a counselor. Now, much of this ministering happens through small acts, like calling to see how someone is doing, or holding the hand of a child, or any person who is feeling frightened or alone. Just listening to others can be a tremendous gift, especially if it involves acknowledging and validating their feelings and expressing care and concern. Now, I know that the Buddhists, I'm not a Buddhist, but I know that the Buddhists speak about this as basic attendance to others' feelings. Now, it's appropriate that the figure in this card is a woman, I suppose, since women have traditionally attended to the emotional needs of the human family. But, you know, I brought up 2 children myself, and so I understand the necessity for nurturing and emotionally as well as materially providing for children. And there's plenty of other men in that situation as well. But this is a good time to examine where you are in terms of your sensitivity to the emotional needs of others. Do you get engulfed? Are the needs of others burning you out? Do you find that you are able to balance them with good self-care and other interests? Can you enjoy being compassionate without making it your identity? Are you free to respond or not? as the situation requires? Is your nurturing welcomed or is it shunned? And how do you respond to this? These are all important issues at this time. Do you know true serving is distinguished from caretaking and codependency, where the giver meets his or her own needs through helping others, rather than give out of the fullness the codependent person gives in order to receive back. You'll know people like that. Now, being in the giving role in a relationship often feels far more powerful than being vulnerable and wondering if you will be met. Although there are situations where self-sacrifice is appropriate, for example, when parenting a small child, when sacrifice becomes the predominant pattern, you risk losing yourself. So to stay healthy, you must keep in touch with your own needs, ministering to them as tenderly as you would minister to the needs of others. And this obviously is true for men and women. And that takes us finally, I think it's finally, isn't it? You were there, so you stay there too. This guy, King of Pentacles. Well, handsome old guy. And they will say of him, he was just and fair. Now, I would tell you that Virgo and Leo are going to be important to you at this time. Great energy around this. This is a time when you shall be working with instinct, I think, rather than with over-intellectualizing things. And I'm not saying that you're not an intellectual, but what I am saying is this is a time to just understand what has worked, what does work, and just stick with that just at the moment. It's not the time to go experimenting with different things, I don't think. Now, I think that he represents success in the various aspects of the material life. He's gone through other things, as you have, integrating your lessons. And now you have got coming to you a sense of gracious abundance, I think. Gone is this sense of poverty and frustration, and replaced now by a sense of ease and gratitude. Now, though, we often, understandably, I guess, equate abundance with wealth, this actually isn't the case. It's not true. It's a misunderstanding. There are many who are wealthy but are not free and not at ease. Now, I don't know whether you happen to see any of that car crash testimony of the witnesses in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, but it was pretty clear to me that there was a guy who had heaps of money and yet he was unable to live life as a normal person. In fact, had to have armed security guards around him 24 hours a day. You don't live a normal life. You don't have, even in your private life, you don't have privacy. Abundance means that there is a match between what you need to support your unfoldment and the material conditions provided. There is neither too much nor too little. Now, this is just like a houseplant having a pot that is just the right size. You escape both the frustration of feeling pinched in and the burden of having too much and all the time and effort it takes to manage it. It also means being free of a constricting, binding attachment to particular things. Now, he can now direct his energy. Now, of course, these court cards relate to women as well, or her energy, in any number of ways. Mastery in this realm is less about acquisition and security than it is about enjoyment. This is the true wealth, to enjoy and feel nourished by the physical objects and conditions that constitute your life, by exercising your talents so that those ghosts do not die with you. These are the things that you came here to do, to use them. You don't have to be like Mariah Carey or anybody like that, but sing, kiss, love, run, enjoy and laugh, eat and drink. Being able to appreciate beauty is part of this. See, when you don't take in the beauty of your world, you feel a sense of poverty. Now, I think because this card has come up in the way that it has with these others around it, it suggests that you are drawn to a more gracious flow in the material aspects of life. Relax and open to it. It will come more easily when you feel in harmony with the world around you than when you nervously fret about it. Remember, the universe is alive. You are proof of that. You are the universe. You're part of the universe. And the universe is gracious, and it and the divinity want to give to you. Well, what a particularly interesting, fascinating spread of cards, and what a great month it looks like for you. Good job, you.
Gee, that was very, very interesting, I thought. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed providing it to you. And some great things happening for you this month, some great things. And don't you deserve it? Now, of course, until I see you again, remember one thing and one thing only, and it is this, that you are a legend. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. And until then, it's bye for now.